Most people completely misunderstand what it actually takes to register a company in Micronesia, and because of that misunderstanding, they either ignore one of the most strategically positioned offshore business jurisdictions in the Pacific, or they attempt to enter without preparation and get stuck in procedural confusion, documentation gaps, and regulatory steps they never even knew existed. And that is exactly what happened to Daniel, a 40-year-old entrepreneur from San Diego, who had been exploring international structuring options for his digital consulting business. At first, Micronesia was not even on his list. He was focused on Singapore, Hong Kong, and the UAE, places with strong corporate ecosystems, global recognition, and well-established financial infrastructure. But one conversation changed everything. A legal advisor specializing in Pacific jurisdictions told him something unexpected. He said, "If you are looking for a low-profile, legally structured, and simple incorporation environment with strong privacy characteristics, Micronesia is one of the least understood options available." Daniel didn't take it seriously at first. Micronesia sounded remote, unfamiliar, and disconnected from global business centers. But what he didn't realize was something important. The Federated States of Micronesia offers a legal framework that allows the formation of domestic and foreign corporations, including LLC-style entities, under a simplified registration system designed for administrative efficiency and low operational overhead. And that is where the real journey begins. Because Daniel assumed registering a company would be straightforward. Submit documents, pay a fee, and receive approval. But what he discovered instead was a structured legal process involving corporate registration, statutory compliance, tax obligations, depending on activity, and banking considerations that vary depending on operational intent. And here's where things get interesting. Because in Micronesia, the challenge is not complexity and paperwork. It is misunderstanding the system's simplicity and assuming it is the same as larger jurisdictions. But before we break it down step by step, you need to understand something critical. An LLC-style structure in Micronesia is typically formed under corporate law as a domestic or foreign corporation with limited liability protections. It allows individuals or companies to legally operate, enter contracts, and manage liability exposure through a registered entity. However, what makes Micronesia unique is not heavy regulation, but rather streamlined administrative procedures combined with jurisdiction-specific compliance expectations. Now let's go back to Daniel's journey. He arrives in Pohnpei, the capital of the Federated States of Micronesia, expecting a highly formalized corporate bureaucracy. Instead, he finds a smaller, more direct administrative system where processes are handled through centralized government offices rather than complex multi-agency layers. He meets a local business advisor named Sarah, an American expatriate who has helped structure offshore and regional entities across Pacific jurisdictions for over a decade. And the first thing she tells him immediately reshapes his expectations. She says, "In Micronesia, the biggest mistake foreigners make is overcomplicating the process. It is actually more straightforward than most jurisdictions, but you must follow the order correctly." Daniel nods, but he doesn't fully understand what that means yet. Because the first step is not filling out forms. It is defining corporate intent. And here's the problem most people run into immediately. They try to register a company without clearly defining what the company will do in terms of jurisdictional classification and operational scope. But in Micronesia, your intended activity determines documentation requirements, banking feasibility, and sometimes whether additional disclosures are needed for compliance purposes. So Sarah asks Daniel a simple question. "What is your business model?" He replies, "Digital consulting and international advisory services for small businesses." And she immediately pauses. Because that is broad. And this is where many applications become unclear. So she helps him refine it into something more structured: remote business consulting and international digital advisory services. That small clarification becomes the foundation of everything that follows. But here's where things get even more important. Because once business intent is defined, the next step is selecting the legal entity structure. In Micronesia, you typically form a corporation under state-level corporate registration authorities. This includes defining shareholder structure, appointing directors, and establishing a registered agent or local representation if required. And this is where another entrepreneur, Michael from Austin, ran into unexpected confusion. Michael assumed he could complete everything remotely without any formal structure beyond filing basic documents. But his application stalled because he did not clearly define governance structure or registered representation requirements. And this is where most people misunderstand Micronesia. They assume simplicity means absence of structure. But simplicity still requires accuracy. And here's where things begin to shift. The next step is name reservation and corporate identity approval. Daniel submits 3 company name options. 2 are approved quickly. 1 is rejected due to similarity with existing registered entities. And this is where Sarah gives him a key insight. She says, in Micronesia, names are not about branding. They are about registry clarity and uniqueness. That means your company name must be distinct enough to avoid administrative conflict within the registry system. And once your name is approved, you move into document preparation. This is where the process becomes formalized. Because now you must prepare articles of incorporation, shareholder agreements, director appointments, and registered office details. And this is where Emily, another entrepreneur from California, nearly made a critical mistake. Emily attempted to submit a simplified incorporation template she used in the United States. But her application was delayed. Why? Because Micronesia requires jurisdiction-specific corporate documentation that aligns with local corporate statutes and administrative filing standards. And this is where frustration often appears. Because what seems like a simple process requires legal precision. But here's the insight Sarah gives Daniel that changes everything. She says, Micronesia is not complex. It is linear. And linear systems require correct sequencing. And that becomes the turning point. Because once Daniel understands sequence, everything becomes predictable. So he begins preparing carefully. He gathers identification documents, prepares shareholder structures, ensures compliance alignment, and verifies his business purpose documentation. And that preparation makes a difference. Because when he submits his application, it moves forward without immediate rejection. But here's where things become more layered. Because corporate registration in Micronesia is not a single approval event. It is a sequence of administrative confirmations. First, incorporation approval. Second, issuance of corporate registration certificate. Third, tax registration depending on operational activity. And fourth, banking setup if required for commercial operations. And this is where many foreign entrepreneurs misunderstand timing. They assume incorporation equals full operational readiness. But in reality, incorporation is just legal existence. After incorporation, Daniel receives his official certificate of registration. And that moment feels like completion. But Sarah immediately clarifies something important. You are incorporated, but you are not yet fully operational in the financial system. Because next comes banking coordination. And this is where Jessica, another entrepreneur from New York, faced delays she did not expect. She assumed opening a bank account would be automatic after incorporation. But in Micronesia, banking compliance depends heavily on documentation consistency, identity verification, and in some cases, correspondence with external financial institutions. And if documentation is inconsistent, delays occur. But Daniel avoids this mistake because he prepares everything in advance. Certified documents, shareholder verification, business intent statements, and compliance records. And because of that preparation, his banking process moves forward more smoothly. But here's the deeper insight most people miss. In Micronesia, success is not about volume of paperwork. It is about alignment. Alignment between intent, structure, documentation, and compliance expectations. When those elements align, the system works efficiently. When they do not, delays occur even in simple systems. And that is the real lesson here. Because when you zoom out, registering an LLC in Micronesia is not about bureaucracy. It is about correctly interpreting a simplified system without overcomplicating it. And once you understand that structure, everything becomes predictable. Daniel is no longer guessing. He is operating with clarity and confidence. And that shift changes everything. But here's a curiosity loop most people never consider. Because Micronesia, despite its small size, sits within a strategically important Pacific region, with connections to international maritime routes, financial services frameworks, and global corporate structuring systems. And businesses that establish correctly can leverage jurisdictional advantages related to flexibility, privacy, and low administrative overhead. But only if they structure correctly from the beginning. Because mistakes in early setup can create unnecessary complications later. So let's bring everything together clearly. First, you define your business intent clearly and precisely. Second, you select and reserve a compliant company name. Third, you prepare incorporation documents including governance structure and shareholder details. Fourth, you complete official incorporation and receive your registration certificate. Fifth, you handle banking and financial setup if required for operations. Each step builds logically on the previous one. And skipping or misunderstanding any step can lead to delays or unnecessary complications. But when done correctly, the process is surprisingly straightforward. And here's the final insight that ties everything together. Most people think registering a company in Micronesia is about navigating bureaucracy. But in reality, it is about understanding simplicity correctly. Because simple systems punish overthinking, just as much as complex systems punish under-preparation. Once you understand that, everything changes. Daniel, Michael, Emily, and Jessica all started with uncertainty. But the ones who succeeded were the ones who respected the structure without overcomplicating it. And that is the real takeaway. Micronesia is not a difficult jurisdiction for company formation. It is a streamlined one that rewards clarity, preparation, and correct sequencing. So if you are considering registering an ELLC in Micronesia, the real question is not whether it is possible. It is whether you are ready to follow the process exactly as designed without adding unnecessary complexity. Because once you do, you will realize something powerful. Global business opportunity is not always about complexity. Sometimes, it is about simplicity done correctly. And when you understand that, you unlock options most people completely overlook. And if you found this guide helpful, and want more deep breakdowns of international company formation and global business strategies, make sure to subscribe to the channel. Because the next guide might change the way you think about global opportunity forever.